What happens when two worlds collide? When ancient forests stretch to meet the vast ocean. When the wild pulse of countless creatures blends with the sound of ocean waves and howls echoing through the deep jungle. There is such a place where nature does not follow rules, but creates its own. A land where every sound and every footstep can determine survival. But will that beauty last forever? Or are these the final sounds of a world slowly fading into silence? Are you ready to explore the crossroads of two oceans? Where every creature is a story, and every encounter is a battle.
Hey. Stop danger! Para el motor.
At the narrowest point of the Americas, where two continents reach out to touch, and two oceans, the Pacific and the Caribbean, ceaselessly crash against the shores. Panama rises like a living gateway amidst the wilderness and the Earth's grandeur. With over 500 species of mammals, nearly 1,000 species of birds, and thousands of species of reptiles, amphibians, insects, and plants, Panama is one of the most biodiverse regions on the planet, where life relentlessly flourishes in the harshest environments. The tropical rainforests in the west, where the Harpy eagle, lord of the skies, glides through the dense canopy, with talons sharp enough to crush any prey. The majestic cloud-shrouded mountains, where howler monkeys hide amongst the branches, maneuvering to survive in an ever-changing environment. And beneath the deep ocean waters, sea turtles begin their perilous journey, a grueling voyage across the devastation of massive waves, separating their habitats. Caribbean Sea, where the bright sunlight pierces through the crystal clear waters, is where bottlenose dolphins and humpback whales mingle with the vast ocean. These animals are not only magnificent creatures, but also resilient warriors, constantly battling the crushing waves just to hold on to life. But within that abundance also exist hidden battles, the challenges that every creature faces in the relentless fight for survival. From the hunt of the jaguar, the cunning and ruthless predator, to species like the poison dart frog that can only survive through the power of their survival instinct, where every step holds potential danger. This is Panama, where every creature is a victor in the struggle for existence. As the early morning mist still clings to the damp leaves of the Panamanian rainforest, a dark shadow silently weaves through the dense undergrowth. Each movement is light and fluid, as if it is becoming one with the forest's embrace. This is the jaguar, the uncrowned king of the Central and South American wilderness. In Panama, where the rainforest stretches from the foothills to the very edge of the coast, the jaguar plays the role of an ecological regulator, a crucial link in the food chain, helping to maintain balance for the entire animal kingdom. But to sit atop that throne year after year, it must constantly engage in fierce battles for survival. The jaguar is the largest cat in the Americas and the third largest cat in the world after the lion and tiger. It is known as the Shadow King of the Americas. Its body is built from solid blocks of muscle, powerful as if sculpted from jungle stone. Each step is a smooth chain of muscle movement beneath a golden coat adorned with dark rosettes, a camouflage born to dissolve into the dappled light of the tropical rainforest. Furthermore, the jaguar's skull is one of nature's most successful biological constructions, a perfect weapon. Among predators, few dare to challenge the jaguar's terrifying bite force. It does not finish its prey with a throat bite like most of its feline relatives. The jaguar aims directly for the skull, shattering bone. With its incredible bite force, it can crush turtle shells and even the rough armor of caiman crocodiles. One bite and life is extinguished. Unlike the lion that roars across the savanna or the tiger that bellows through the deep forest, the jaguar is a silent killer, a hunting artist who paints death with chilling stillness and absolute precision. The jaguar is a solitary hunter. It needs no pack and no calls. Only instinct and the darkness are its companions. But in Panama, where the dense rainforest blankets mountains and valleys, they do not need to wait for nightfall to act. The thick canopy, the interwoven light, and the constantly moving prey have turned the forest into an ideal stage for the conquest of the ancient jungle by this notorious predator. The jaguar does not hunt like others. It is not a whirlwind, but the darkness coiling beneath the forest leaves, death lurking in absolute silence. Hidden behind the thick canopy of the Panamanian rainforest, this creature never appears rushed. It knows who it is. Its paws are as soft as velvet, but beneath lies explosive power enough to fall any creature that strays into its domain. Muscles ripple, a body weighing nearly 100 kilograms yet strangely agile. Each step is a deliberate pause, as if the entire forest holds its breath in its presence. Amber eyes, gleaming in the shadows, read every movement of life around it. With a leap, the entire body springs forth like a coil of flesh and tendon. The bite aims directly for vital points, life severed in a fleeting moment. Canine teeth crush their target like a death sentence. No noise, no sprawling blood. Only a chilling, cold precision. The jaguar does not kill because it is hungry. It kills because it can. And that is what makes it so mysterious and terrifyingly captivating. Unlike tigers or lions that often target large ungulates, the jaguar is a versatile master of prey selection. From deer, tapirs, freshwater turtles, and birds, to caiman crocodiles, another predator seemingly untouchable. Exceptional swimming skills make the jaguar the only big cat that actively hunts underwater. Among all the big cat species in the world, only the jaguar willingly dives into the silent, muddy rivers where other predators even hesitate. It dominates the water like a swimming assassin. Each stroke is smooth and silent, as if the river's surface remains undisturbed. Dark yellow eyes follow the slightest movement below. In Panama, where the boundary between life and death is as fragile as a thin veil of mist, the jaguar exists as an essential part of the forest. No one truly sees it, but everyone knows it is there. Like an ancient curse, silently watching from the shadows, keeping the forest from becoming weak, keeping nature ever vigilant. It is a symbol, not just of strength, but of balance. A living testament that nature is never gentle. In the silent sky above the canopy of Panama's rainforest, a shadow spreads its wings soundlessly, without a rustle, without a whistle of wind. A colossal gray form glides across, like a silent thunderclap in the thick, humid air. No warning cry, just a swift ascent. This is the Harpy eagle, the apex predator of Central and South American skies, and one of the largest birds of prey in the world. In Panama, where primeval rainforests still stand, the harpy is more than just a part of nature. It is a supernatural figure, a living legend, a phantom from above that no creature dares to ignore. Harpy eagles live almost their entire lives in the highest layers of the rainforest, where humans rarely venture. In treetops tens of meters high, they build nests of large branches, lined with soft leaves, and remain faithful to the same nest for many years. They do not soar high and wide like eagles of the plains, but instead execute lightning-fast dives, weaving through tree trunks and dense foliage, a feat seemingly impossible for such a large body. Yet, the harpy eagle accomplishes this with chilling, perfect precision. The name Harpy is no accident. In Greek mythology, harpies were winged creatures, half woman, half bird, who stalked and brought misfortune. And strangely, the real-life harpy eagle also bears that semblance. Its round head, stern, chiseled face, deep black eyes, and contrasting gray and white plumage. But what truly terrifies others are its enormous legs with talons up to 13 centimeters long. A squeeze from this foot can easily pierce the skull of any prey, including arboreal mammals like monkeys or sloths. It is not the eagle of the high skies, like its golden-hued brethren of the African savanna. The harpy is the phantom of the rainforest, a silent stalker through the narrow pathways of the tropical jungle, where light filters through like needlepoint stitches in the darkness. Unlike the frenzied rush of the owl or the lightning speed of the falcon, the harpy is a predator of terrifyingly careful calculation. It can perch for hours on a high branch, completely motionless, like a statue of the forest deity. Steadfast eyes scan every branch, every minute movement. With vision 4 to 5 times sharper than that of humans, the harpy eagle can detect the movement of prey from hundreds of meters away, even when it is hidden behind dense foliage. And once it has identified its target, it needs no second chance. Enormous wings beat once, and the entire body, like a living arrow, plunges straight down, tearing through the air between narrow tree trunks. No cry, no violent flapping. It needs no display of power because the first impact is also the last. The attack comes with 2 talons as sharp as blades, clamping down on the prey with impressive force. A grip is sufficient to extinguish the life of any creature that dares to dream of safety within the jungle. Unlike many other birds of prey, the harpy eagle mates for life. They live in pairs, hunting together, incubating eggs together, and raising their young together. A pair only reproduces about every 2 to 3 years, with only 1 chick at a time. A survival strategy typical of apex predators, few but of high quality. Throughout the chick rearing period, the pair of eagles take turns guarding the nest and hunting. The young one will learn to see, listen, feel, and finally, take flight on its own, touching the real world with the wings of the sky's air. The harpy needs no roar, needs no brilliance. Its presence is enough to keep the entire forest on alert. It is the embodiment of weighted silence, of power that needs no performance. A beautiful and equally dangerous symbol. They don't need sharp fangs like the jaguar, nor talons like the harpy eagle. They don't stalk through the forest light, nor swoop down from the sky. They possess one of the rainforest's most powerful weapons, a roar. As the sun barely peeked behind the low-hanging clouds, the entire forest seemed to awaken with a resonating bellow, a sound that traveled over 5 kilometers through the dense jungle, weaving through every gap in the leaves, filling every silent space. It was an unmistakable sound, the call of a troop of howler monkeys declaring their territory. Howler monkeys are native primates common in the forests of Central and South America. In Panama, they are some of the loudest inhabitants, dominating the upper canopy with a vocalization that can rival an engine. The green forest has gifted them a formidable biological weapon to produce that earth-shattering sound, a throat that knows how to roar like thunder. Hidden beneath their thick fur is a strange and extraordinary structure, the hyoid bone, swollen like a living acoustic drum, hollow as if to trap the echoes within its own body. This structure acts as a natural resonating chamber, amplifying every tiny vibration into a far-reaching cry, piercing through the thick foliage, threading into every nook of the forest, striking the ears of enemies, and warning all who dare to trespass. No need to fight, no need to chase. With just a roar, the howler monkey commands the attention of the entire forest, forcing it to pause and listen. And it's not just a regular call. It's a declaration of sovereignty, a rallying anthem, an invisible wall erected between troops, clearly stating, "This is our territory. Do not take another step." And the genius of creation lies in the fact that they don't need to expend much energy on this display. Thanks to that sophisticated sound apparatus, with just a strong breath and a decisive burst of roaring, they can sow authority without wasting a single precious calorie, something that in the deep forest is always more valuable than gold. animal world, territorial disputes often involve bloodshed. But howler monkeys choose a different way: deterrence through sound. Each troop of about 5 to 15 individuals will emit a series of warning sounds in the early morning and late afternoon, the times when the boundaries between groups are most likely to be violated. That sound is not just a biological signature. It's also the acoustic map of the rainforest, marking where there is already an owner and where is being closely monitored. The howler monkey's diet consists of leaves, not the delicious, succulent kind you might imagine, but tough, cellulose-rich, energy-poor leaves, not unlike chewing dry paper. And leaves have never been easy to digest. That's why howler monkeys are forced to have a secret weapon, an extraordinary digestive system. Their bellies bulge like empty drums, the inside divided into multiple compartments like a cow's stomach. A sophisticated biological factory operating 24/7. Every morsel of leaf that passes through that stomach is not only crushed but also fermented and broken down, and every last bit of rare nutrient is extracted. Therefore, for howler monkeys, time is precious fuel. They must spend hours just lying still, allowing their bodies to digest and absorb. It's not out of laziness, but because every hasty jump is a waste that could cost them their lives. They move slowly as if every breath is carefully measured. They avoid collisions and evade conflicts because a wrong bump means lost energy. In the rainforest of Panama, howler monkeys are not just the acoustic symbols of dawn. They are also the ever-vigilant sentinels. They live in troops of 6 to 15 individuals, each group a tight-knit society, operating implicitly under the strict rules of the ancient forest. The adult male is the leader, not only roaring to mark territory, but also acting as a shield for the entire troop. Outwardly, the howler monkey troop seems to live a peaceful existence. The young cling to their mother's bellies, swaying with each slow movement. The females gently swing from branch to branch, their eyes following every leaf as if selecting food at a midday feast. But that tranquility is just a facade. Deep inside is a state of constant alertness. When a strange neighbor is detected appearing in their territory, immediately a roar erupts, powerful, fierce, and threatening. The males in the troop join in the bellowing, like an alarm sounding through the layers of trees. They don't immediately attack, but every movement becomes menacing, faster, eyes darting, tails tightly curled, ready for a confrontation if the intruder doesn't retreat. Because they understand that a fight is not just about protecting territory, but also about safeguarding their young from a cruel fate. In the primate world, when a new male takes over dominance, the offspring of the previous leader are often killed, a way to shorten the female's estrus cycle, forcing them to mate again. Howler monkeys do not allow this to happen. And so, amidst the ancient forest resounding with the rustling of leaves, the entire troop shifts, from stillness to motion, from gentle to resolute. The strange figure gradually retreats, grumbling in defeat. The final roar subsides, deep and decisive. The intruder has been driven back. Order is restored. The green forest becomes quiet again. But in the eyes of the alpha male, peace is never a given. It is something that must be earned with courage, with strength, and with the warrior spirit passed down through generations of their ancestors. Howler monkeys, though not as strong as jaguars, not as sharp as harpies, are the heartbeat, the breath of the Panamanian ecosystem. And as long as they roar every early morning, the rainforest will still be awake. On the golden sands glowing under the tropical sun of Panama, a miraculous journey begins. Not in the silent darkness of night, but in broad daylight, where the light exposes both life and danger. The sun shines brightly on the beaches of the Azuero Peninsula, where each wave embraces the shore as if caressing a sacred land. From the deep blue horizon, a dark shadow gradually appears, rising from the sun-drenched surface of the sea. It is an adult sea turtle, a mother about to complete the most noble mission of her life. The turtle's heavy body crawls onto the sand, leaving long, winding tracks like ink lines on white paper. Her four legs, like powerful paddles, slowly dig a hole. Each swing throws sand up, and each breath empties. But the mother turtle does not stop. She knows she doesn't have much time. White pearl-like eggs are laid one by one into the hot sand. Each egg is a seed of life. Each egg is the culmination of a journey of thousands of kilometers across the ocean, traversing harsh currents, evading sharks, fishing nets, and the plastic debris floating everywhere. When the task is complete, the mother turtle covers the eggs with sand using the very same sweeping motions that have helped her swim her entire life. She waits for nothing, lingers for no moment. Under the scorching sun, she turns her head and plunges back towards the whitecaps, returning to the sea. One birth, one farewell, and a promise unspoken. Those eggs will lie still in the sand for about 2 months. Within the earth, life is silently stirring. The ambient temperature, high or low, will determine the sex of the hatchlings. A unique biological mechanism of sea turtles. Warmth creates females, and cold creates males. When the time comes, tiny beaks break through the eggshells. The baby turtles, weak but full of survival instinct, begin to dig their way to the surface. No longer shrouded in darkness as in familiar documentaries. Today's sky is brilliant, sunlight reflecting off their shells, revealing every tiny, glistening scale. But that very light exposes them to myriad dangers. Above, seagulls and Panamanian black vultures circle, as if they have been waiting for the feast to begin. Below the sand, crabs and lizards lie in ambush. The beach, though beautiful, is now a true battlefield. The baby turtles clumsily crawl toward the ocean. Each step, even just a few dozen centimeters, is a life or death test. Many are pecked open in an instant. Others are washed back ashore by the waves. But the most persistent, the luckiest, finally reach the salt water. Upon contact with the sea, their fragile bodies react instantly. They do not swim awkwardly. On the contrary, they immediately integrate with the current, because their genes have programmed this behavior through millions of years of evolution. A new life officially begins, but one that opens up an equally arduous journey. No one knows exactly where the baby turtles drift in their early years. It's a stage scientists call the lost years. But then, if they survive, they will return to the Panamanian waters, where there are submerged coral reefs, seagrass beds, and warm currents rich in food. Sea turtles are not predators. They have no claws or fangs. Their only weapon is their resilience. Each individual is a silent traveler, roaming the vast ocean, facing tsunamis, cyclones, and the devastation caused by humans. In this dangerous world, sea turtles are a testament to enduring vitality and a grand journey of rebirth, needing no darkness to hide, but willing to face the sun, wind, and every gaze. And perhaps it is because of this that they have survived to this day as warriors without claws, but who have never retreated. On the silver sparkling waves of Panama's Caribbean Sea, a resonant sound echoes, not the wind, nor the sound of machinery. It is the song of the ocean, the chattering, drawn-out conversation of some of the most intelligent creatures on the planet, bottlenose dolphins. From afar, a pod of dolphins breaks the water's surface, their bodies arcing in a wet dance of sun and waves. Spiraling dives and graceful re-entries as if choreographed by an invisible hand. But behind that elegance lies a silent battle, the fight to survive, endure, and protect their pod. Bottlenose dolphins are the most common dolphin species and are present in Panama's tropical waters year-round. While not apex predators like sharks, they possess an incredible set of biological tools, advanced intelligence, complex communication abilities, swimming speeds of up to 35 kilometers per hour, and especially biological sonar, a secret weapon that helps them locate, hunt, and avoid danger in the murky ocean. In the turquoise waters near the Bocas del Toro archipelago, a group of bottlenose dolphins begins their morning hunt. They do not hunt alone. Contrary to the aggressive image of other predators, dolphins are intelligent warriors, each hunting a sophisticated display of cooperation. A few individuals begin emitting a series of high-frequency sounds, steady clicks emanating from air sacs near their blowholes. Sound waves travel out, bouncing back when they hit objects, painting an invisible map of the underwater world in their brains. Thanks to echolocation, they can accurately determine the position, size, and speed of the school of fish hiding on the seabed. But even more miraculous is their cooperative strategy. A few individuals encircle a small school of fish, herding them into shallow waters near the sandy shore. Another leaps out of the water, slapping its tail powerfully down, creating a loud noise that panics the prey. And then, at the right moment, the entire group charges in like silver arrows. The hunt lasts only a few seconds, but it is the pinnacle of coordination, strategy, and understanding, something few other animals in the ocean can achieve. The life of bottlenose dolphins does not revolve solely around hunting. Like humans, they live in close-knit social communities, where each member has a distinct role and relationship. Within a group, there are dolphin pairs that mate for life, best friends who play together for years, and young individuals taught by their mothers how to hunt, how to communicate, and how to avoid enemies. In Panama, the waters off Coiba Island are an ideal place for dolphins to breed and raise their young. A female dolphin carries her calf for about 12 months, similar to human gestation. When the time comes to give birth, she seeks out calm waters near the shore, where there are fewer predators. The sight of birth underwater is one of nature's most sacred moments. And from the moment of birth, the calf stays close to its mother. She teaches it every skill necessary for survival: how to locate using sound, how to hunt, and how to interpret unusual movements in the water. For the first 2 years of their life, the mother-calf bond is so strong that they develop distinct voices just to communicate with each other. A kind of maternal language that modern science has yet to fully decipher. But not everything is peaceful. Beneath the clear waters lurk dangers. Tiger sharks and hammerhead sharks regularly patrol the deep waters near the coral reefs. They are natural enemies of dolphins, especially the young or weak individuals. When danger strikes, bottlenose dolphins do not flee individually. They form a circle with the young in the middle, and the largest individuals charge to attack the enemy with their snouts and tails. With incredible speed and thrust, a direct ram from a dolphin can stun a shark, even break its jaw. Many times, dolphins have rescued their kin from the jaws of death with such bold counterattacks. More than just united warriors, dolphins are also natural artists of the sea. When not hunting or defending themselves, they play with the waves, leap out of the water, and somersault in the air as if performing. Science has proven that these behaviors are not accidental. Dolphins play to bond with their pod, practice skills, and, most importantly, express emotions. They know sadness, joy, love, and even remembrance. From the dense forest canopies where jaguars stalk in silence, to the towering treetops where harpy eagles watch every movement beneath the leaves. From the echoing roars of howler monkeys that travel for kilometers, to the gentle flick of a sea turtle's flipper gliding through the rippling waves. From the glistening dance of bottlenose dolphins under the sunlight to the life or death moments that each individual must overcome every day, Panama is a colossal stage where life performs relentlessly. But this is not just a story of wilderness. This is a story of the purest instincts, perseverance, intelligence, unity, mutual protection. Values that not only define the lives of countless species, but also reflect back upon ourselves. Yet, that stage is faltering. Climate change, deforestation, ocean pollution, and the ever-deepening encroachment of humans have been and are blurring these survival symphonies. The question posed is, will we remain silent and let that orchestra fade away? Or will we act so that the sounds of the forest, the sea, and life itself will forever resonate? Nature does not need us to exist, but we certainly need nature to survive. Because in every breath of the forest, every wave of the sea, is the shared heartbeat of a planet we all inhabit.